Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. That is why I don't sing. And today I'm going to talk about visas. Which visa do you need is going to depend on your purpose for being here. So I'm going to go over the three main, most popular types, and that should cover the majority of your particular situation. But as always, I want to remind you that I have books for sale. You can find the books you see on your screen, along with others, including Live in Cambodia, a guide for living in the Kingdom of Wonder, at the link in the description. And they're not a lot of money. So if you want to purchase them, all that information is at that link. And if you want to help support us and support the channel, it's always very much appreciated. Your donations are paramount, and you can find links down below for PayPal and Ko-fi.com if you want to do that. Our goal is $100 by the end of the month, so if you want to help be a part of the people that make that happen, you can check out those links in the description. And also, I just want to say this. Sometimes people ask, they say, hey, I'm coming over to Cambodia. I'm going to be there, in a month, 2 months, 6 months, whatever the time frame is. Is there anything within reason you want me to bring you from the United States or, wherever? And yes, there is. So what I've done is I made an Amazon wish list. But trust me, it's books, paperback copies of books, my favorite horror books that I would like to have physical copies of. I put them on Amazon as a central place so everybody could look at them. But I'm not asking for brand new paperback books that you have to buy on Amazon. That's just for your reference. If that's something you want to do, and you don't have to, but if it is, you might have used bookstores in your area that might have some of those titles, one or two. Sometimes libraries, they have sales that would have some of those titles. Or, Barnes and Noble, sometimes, if you have one in your area, they have a lot of sales on horror books every so often. At least they did when I was living in the United States. So, if that's something you want to do, because sometimes people ask, check out that Amazon wish list, see what you can pick up. It doesn't have to be new at all. Used is absolutely fine. All right. So when it comes to visas in Cambodia, it's pretty straightforward. I get asked about visas, cost of living, and apartments, probably more than any other subjects. But visas are pretty straightforward. And I'm going to be talking about it from the perspective of you coming over here to stay long term, not on a tourist visa, because that one's a tourist visa. But if you want to stay here long term. And the first one, or let me start by saying this, all three of these, initially when you first come into the country, you'll need the E-visa, also known as the ordinary visa. No matter which extension you choose, that E-visa is good for the first 30 days. And before the end of that 30 days, you'll have to go to any travel agency and request your visa extension. The extension is what allows you to stay long term. The initial visa is just the one you need for your first 30 days. So remember that. That's your first step. And your initial 30-day will be like $35 for the E-visa. You can get that on arrival without a problem, or you can get it in advance. There is a link in the description for the one and only official website if you want to get your E-visa in advance. If you go Googling around, you might wind up on a site that's going to charge you extra, and it might be a scam. So don't do that. I have a link down below. That's the site you want to go to if you want to get it in advance. But again, you can get it upon arrival and know that it's legit. Okay, so you get your E-visa, and let's say your purpose here is to retire. That's the easiest one. It might be one of the easiest visa extensions to stay in a foreign country long term, in the world perhaps. Although I don't know much about other countries, but this one is so simple. If you want to retire, the requirement is that you have to be 55 years or older. And that's it. That's the requirement. You don't need bank statements, you don't need proof of income, you don't need a background check. You just have to be able to prove that you are 55 years or older. And you can get this visa for a period of 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months. If you're going to stay here, I would always recommend getting at least, or getting the 12-month, the year visa, because you only have to worry about it once a year. It'll cost you around $300 for that year, so about $25 a month. But it's very, very easy because you don't need any other qualifying documents. You just need to be old or older, let's put it that way. So that one's pretty straightforward. The difference between a 1 month and a 3 month and a 6 month and a 12-month visa extension is simply the 1 and 3 month extensions are only single entry, which means if you leave the country for any reason, your visa extension becomes null and void, and you will have to start over when you come back with the original e-visa for 30 days and then get another extension, which is a lot of hassle because you never know where your journey might take you. You might not be planning on leaving, but something might happen and you say, yeah, hey, let's go visit Thailand, Vietnam, or something. But if you only have a 1 or 3 month extension, that's going to void it, no matter how much time is left on it. But if you get the 6 month or 12 month extension, that's multiple entry. So as long as that visa extension is valid, you can travel in and out of the country as many times as you want, and you don't have to go through that process again because you're still under the umbrella of that visa extension because it's multiple entry. And that will apply to the third one I'm going to talk about also. All that applies. But it's easy to get the retirement visa. Like I said, probably one of the easiest in the world. It's just very, very simple and straightforward. But if you're not 55 and you're coming over here, let's say to work, let's just say teaching English, because that's a very popular thing for people to do, and there are still plenty of opportunities here to do so. I recently had a question about that from somebody. I'll make a video on that in the future, but yeah, it's still very doable. But if that's your intention, is to work, and you're not old enough to get the retirement extension, your first month here might not be long enough to actually find a job. You know, you could. I'm not saying it's impossible, and it hasn't been done before. But your first month here, you might want to acclimate to things, you know, get used to the weather and the culture and just enjoy yourself for a little bit before you jump right into work. A lot of people like to do that. So the first month might not be enough time. So if your intention is to work at the near the end of your 30 days of your initial visa, you'll want to apply for an EG visa extension. Now, unlike the other ones, the EG is a one-time deal. You can't renew that extension. You can get it one time, and that will be for a total of 3 months. It used to be 6 months, but they changed that. The EG is commonly known as the looking for work visa extension, because that's what most people use it for. They're looking for a job. 1 month might not be long enough, so they get this extension at the end of their first 30 days. So that gives them another 90 days to find a job. And if you do it right, trust me, you'll find a job within that time if you have boots on the ground and you're actually motivated to do that. Won't be a problem. Now, if you do find a job within that time, then you'll need to switch to the other visa extension, which is the EB. That is the one you need to work. It will allow you to stay long-term and work in the Kingdom of Cambodia. Again, that one's pretty straightforward. 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, or 12 month. And the same restrictions apply. The 1 month and 3 month is single entry. 6 month and 12 month is multiple entry. But with that, once you find a job, you need that visa extension, the EB, and you will also be required to get a work permit. And I believe that's $100 a year, I want to say. It's been a while, but I believe it's about $100 a year for your work permit. To get that work permit, you'll need your EB extension, and you will need a letter from your employer, a letter of employment, saying that you're employed, that you're an employee there. And the thing I want you to be careful of is to make sure that that company, that school, or wherever is actually registered with Cambodia. So I ran into that problem before, and it's not fun, because they should be helping you to get all your paperwork in order so they don't get fined if you don't have it, if immigration shows up and wants to see your papers, right? But not every institution does things exactly the legal way here, you know, necessarily. But yeah, you get your letter of employment from your company. Then you'll have to take a really basic, non-intrusive, like a health checkup. They just want to make sure you're not going to die while you're teaching or whatever. That'll cost you about 25 bucks or something. You know, you take that and then you can apply for your work permit. Now, sometimes the places you work, like the schools, will actually help you with all that, with all the paperwork, and they might even do it for you if you get a really good school. But a lot of times they won't. They'll tell you what you need and they'll give you your letter, but then it's up to you. And if that's the case, you can go to the travel agency, let them know, and they, for a fee of course, they will help you get your work permit taken care of along with your visa extension. So yeah, you'll never be totally on your own trying to figure it out. There's always people who are there to help you along. But if you're going to work, that's what you'll need to do. Now, in addition to those three, there are other types of visas and extensions here, but I don't want to mention them because they don't apply to nobody that I know that's watching this channel, at least, but probably not to the vast majority of people. That would be for students, that would be for politicians from other countries, you know, diplomats. They have a visa that they need. And I also believe there's a special visa extension you need if you're going to be over here, but you've invested, I don't know, like $100,000 or something on a company based in Cambodia or something. I'm not quite sure about that one because, like I said, I don't know anybody that's ever asked or wanted to know about that. But there are other types of visa extensions, but they won't apply to the majority of people. Those are the three: the ER for retirement, the EG if you're looking for work, and the EB with your work permit once you find a job. Those are the three main types. And they're all pretty straightforward with what you need and how to go about getting it. Alright, so I hope that helps a little bit. I only mention that because, you know, I still get questions about visas. And like I said before, cost of living and apartments, those are the three things I get asked about more than any other thing. And once a certain amount of people start asking, they're new viewers, they haven't watched the videos from previously when I talked about it, I always like to update them with that information to make it more accessible for everybody. But I hope that helps. Be sure to check out all my links down below. Like I said, I have PayPal, I have Ko-fi. My other channel, Horror Reads, is down there. And other channels vlogging from this part of the world, they are all down there. Great channel, great information coming out of them. And you get different perspectives and experiences that you might not get here. So be sure to check them out as well. All right, from Siem Reap, Cambodia, I will talk to you guys in the next one.